All right, today we're digging into a super fascinating study that asks a really simple question, but whoa, the answers are pretty surprising. And it's all about the connection between our brains and our feet.
So let's just jump right in. I mean, could taking your shoes off actually make a teenager's brain work better? It sounds a little out there, right? But back in 2024, a team of scientists in Korea, led by Taehoon Kim and Jin Han, published a study to test this exact idea.
So first things first, why teenagers? Well, if you think about it, the teenage years are like a massive construction zone for the brain. Scientists call it neuroplasticity, which is really just a fancy way of saying the brain is changing, adapting, and learning at an incredible speed.
So these researchers, they wanted to know what happens when you get these teens to walk? And more importantly, is there any difference between walking with shoes on versus walking with your bare feet right on the ground? Could it possibly be better for you than just sitting down and studying?
Okay, so how in the world did they test this? Well, they set up a really well-thought-out experiment that lasted 12 weeks. Let's break down exactly how they did it.
The experiment started with 59 13-year-old boys. Now, they were all healthy, but here's the key thing. They didn't do any regular exercise. This made them kind of the perfect test subjects to see what would happen when they started a new activity.
So they split these students into 3 different groups. For 12 weeks, 4 times a week, one group just did 40 minutes of self-study. The other 2 groups spent that time walking on the school playground. One of those groups wore sneakers, and the other walked completely barefoot.
To actually see what was changing inside their heads, the scientists used a tool called an EEG. The easiest way to think about it is like a special cap that just listens to all the tiny electrical signals your brain is constantly making. It's a really cool way to peek inside and see how focused, relaxed, or even how stressed out a brain is.
All right, so after those 3 months of walking and studying, what did the brain listening caps find? Well, the results were pretty clear and honestly kind of shocking. Let's look at the data.
Now check this out. This is what happened to their concentration. The control group, the kids who were just studying, their concentration scores actually went down. The sneaker-wearing group, about the same. But the barefoot group, they were the only ones who saw a real, significant increase in their ability to concentrate. And it wasn't just about focus. The barefoot walkers also got faster. This chart shows their cognitive speed, which is basically how quickly their brains could work through information. And again, you see the pattern? They were the only group to show any real improvement.
In this one, this might be the most powerful finding of all. Look at brain stress. The students in the study group, they actually got more stress over the 12 weeks. But the barefoot walkers, their brain stress levels went down. So walking barefoot didn't just seem to make them smarter, it actually made them calmer. And hey, you don't just have to take my word for it. The researchers themselves put it very clearly in their paper. They concluded that walking barefoot was the secret sauce, the thing that really boosted the students' brain power. And they had the EEG data to back it up.
Let's geek out just for a second on the type of brain activity that changed. Think of it like this. The barefoot group's brains started producing more of what you'd call calm and focused brainwaves. Meanwhile, the control group, the ones just studying, their brains started producing more drowsy, daydreaming kinds of waves. That's a pretty clear difference, right?
Okay, so this all leads to the million-dollar question. Why? Why would just taking off your shoes make such a huge difference for your brain? Well, the scientists had a few ideas.
It really all comes down to sensory input. I mean, your feet are packed with thousands of nerve endings. When you're wearing shoes, it's like your brain is trying to listen to a muffled conversation. But when you walk barefoot, you're feeling every little texture, every temperature directly. It's like turning the volume way up. All of that extra information travels right to your brain and gives it a little workout, waking up the parts that are in charge of attention and focus.
All right, so let's pull all this together. What are the big takeaways from this impressive little study? What does it all mean for us?
This is a great little image right from the paper because it tells the whole story in one go. I know it looks like a lot, but follow me here. Over on the left, you've got the students. In the middle, there's the 3 groups and the EEG measurement. And then the most important part, over on the right, is the conclusion. Barefoot walking led to the best cognitive improvement. It's a fantastic summary of the whole thing.
Now, of course, the researchers are good scientists, so they're quick to point out that this was a small study. It focused just on 13-year-old boys. To really know for sure if these benefits apply to everybody, we're definitely going to need more research with bigger and more diverse groups of people.
But here's the really amazing thing to take away from all this. It suggests that a super simple, totally free activity that anyone can do might have real, measurable benefits for our brain health. especially for kids and teens whose brains are still growing and changing so much.
You know, if you found this as fascinating as I did and want to see more like it, please do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, give this a like, and turn on notifications. And if you really want to dive deeper into this topic, the Barefoot Walking National Movement headquarters on Naver Cafe is a fantastic place to connect with a whole community and share information.
So it leaves us with this final thought. In our modern world, we're pretty disconnected from nature, right? Could something as simple as just feeling the earth beneath our feet be one of the keys to a healthier, maybe even a happier brain? Makes you wonder what other simple natural habits we might have forgotten about. Thanks for watching.